Just beneath the Ben Franklin Bridge in Camden, New Jersey, we've got the season opener for our junior college baseball schedule. This morning, it's a battle between the Camden County Cougars and the RCSJ-Gloucester Roadrunners in the rubber match of a 3-game series. Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Ben Wilden on the call this afternoon or / morning from Camden. It's a foggy and hazy Sunday morning. We are going to be starting a few minutes behind today due to a shortage in athletic trainers, waiting for one to come over. We're going to start at around at least no earlier than 11:05. But Ben, this is game 3 in the 3-game set between Camden and RCSJ, an RCSJ team that everybody knows by now, 3 straight national championships in NJCAA Division III, but they definitely took an early season hit with the Game 1 loss in Saturday's doubleheader. Now, the teams ended up splitting. Camden won 5-1 in Game 1. RCSJ won 14-5 in Game 2. So now going into the matinee, it matters all the more to RCSJ to pick up the Game 3 win this Sunday.
Yeah, I just want to point out, for RCSJ, they have a batting average of 2.98, which is pretty good right now. But they also have a 5.9 ERA, which is a little bit bad. Just coming from RCSJ, they are a powerhouse. They are going to have to bring that down a lot. They have Bradley on the mound today, pretty good pitcher. Used a lot of their pitchers the series against Camden CCC this weekend, so they're going to have to bounce back a little bit. For CCC, they got Aiden Stranahan on the mound. In high school, he had a 0 ERA, which is a very interesting point to point out. He's a great pitcher. He's just got to reach the strike zone, and he's got to find his balance and find his control.
Yeah, Stranahan had a flat 0 ERA in his senior year at Pittman High School, gave up 9 unearned runs, but 0 earned runs. And then the sophomore Tommy Bradley will be the starter for RCSJ, the sophomore who went to Monsignor Bonner in the Philadelphia Catholic League. But again, Camden coming into this game 1-3. They were 1 game away from the Region 19 Final Four last year. They lost to RCSJ Cumberland in the second round of playoffs, and we found ourselves finding Camden outside of the Final Four. We'll see if they can make a push for it this year, but the RCSJ Roadrunners will take the field, and they're going to do the New York Yankees style national anthem. We'll be right back for starting lineups and first pitch after this. Welcome back from Rutgers Camden. Your starter for RCSJ is Tommy Bradley. In his 2025 freshman year at a 5.20 ERA and a 1.38 whip. Was not the number one guy on this Roadrunners team, but again, the Monsignor Bonner grad out of the Philadelphia Catholic League put up 36 innings, mostly in relief. He's getting just his second career start in the blue and gold this afternoon. He had one during his freshman year out of 14 appearances. So do the math, that makes 13 out of the pen. 19 walks, 51 Ks, and definitely had a lot of valuable innings eaten during the Region 19 Final Four that we covered last year. Had a lot of them during that 12-inning game versus Salem that RCSJ eventually lost, and then the marathon doubleheader versus Brookdale. How wild of a weekend that was. But, you know, one of the things that RCSJ is going to have to improve on is the defense. We didn't mention it in the open, but they had 6 errors in their Game 2 win. Even though they won 14-5, put up 8 runs in the 7th inning, they definitely have to find their way to keep a clean sheet in the box score, because they've had 7 errors in the last 2 games, and they're really going to try to clean up that defensive effort. And you know what? It's going to be tough for these guys as well. Slightly damp conditions on the turf. The ball is going to bounce differently. We talk about it every time we cover Rutgers Camden, and the situation is true today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, coached by John Scanzano for the Camden County Cougars. Billy Bentliff leads off in center field, followed by Colin Thompson at short. Ian Monteith, the Kingsway grad, bats third. Cole Hudson in the cleanup spot at third. Chase Conway in right field. Winston Yates at first base. Eric Berger, the Overbrook grad, at the DH. Aiden Milligan lines up behind the plate. And Matt DiMatteo, the Haddon Heights grad, is the second baseman. That's your starting lineup, presented by the dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. And the first pitch of the game from Bradley is a swing and a miss, 0-1. Just our second baseball game of the year. First pitch, 11:06. Game time temperature, 59 degrees and windy. Bradley's 0-1, up and away, just outside of the letters there. Jaden Rosado lining up behind the plate for RCSJ. Got to see him in high school at Bridgewater Raritan. Under Coach Max Newell, won the Group 4 state championship in 2024. 1-1, outside. Although I'm pretty sure Tommy Bradley's played on this field as well during his high school days. The Philadelphia Catholic League championships have been held on this field for at least 1 or 2 years. I don't know if it was 2025 and 2024, but that one's fouled back towards Delaware Street.
Yeah, and Billy Bentliff batted .380 last year. Struggling a little bit this year. Our CCC only has a couple hits, not as many as they had in the previous years, so they're really going to have to step it up.
Definitely a program on the rise. We'll talk about him and John Scanzano in a minute, but the 2-2 is a swing and a miss. Nice drop change up that time. Bradley picks up his first strikeout, and there's one away. This will bring up Thompson.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Colin Thompson.
Yeah, when John Scanzano was hired as the head coach of Camden in 2022, the program only had 7 wins. They were 7-20 in the 2022 season, but got generally better, finished 500 for the first time in 2024, and then like we said in 2025, was only 1 win away from the Region 19 Final Four. They lost to RCSJ Cumberland, so the final field ended up being Gloucester, Cumberland, Brookdale, and Salem, with Brookdale eventually winning the regional championship. That one's hit well out towards right center field. This one's going to split the gap perfectly in between Mastero, and now this one's going to go out towards right center, loses the helmet, but Colin Thompson with a stand-up double. Great piece of hitting there on the 1-0.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hit in there by Thompson. You know, just gets it in the gap there. That's one thing you got to do for the second role, for the being second in the batting order. That's something you got to really step up there, especially Camden County had the same 4 people start in their lineup. So these guys really got to step up here. Great piece of hitting.
Here's Ian Monteith. He had a 3-run home run in Game 1 of this series on Saturday afternoon in Blackwood, handing RCSJ their first conference loss since 2024. They went 30-0 in conference season or conference play in the regular season in the Garden State Athletic Conference. So everybody on their schedule. I mean, listen, they only lost, I think it was 6 games en route to their 3rd straight national title under Coach Rob Valley. Breaking ball missed upstairs. Bradley delivers the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. But yeah, Monteith, the Kingsway grad, definitely had a lot of pop. Also played under a legendary head coach in Bill Alvaro. Picked up 400 wins over at Washington Township. Joined Kingsway in 2018, and he's been there for the last 8 years.
Yeah, Dan, talking about Monteith, last year had a 4.31 batting average. Really impressive.
Yeah, 431 mark for Monteith. 2-1 now to Monteith from Bradley. Runner on second after Thompson roped a double in the gap. In the on-deck circle is Cole Hudson, the third baseman. Outfield looking pretty straight up here with the 2-1. Low. At least a good thing about Rutgers Camden, this field being all turf, is that you don't have to worry about scuffing up the baseball with a clump of dirt on it. You know, you only have to worry about keeping the conditions clean. There was a lot of overnight rain. Throw back to second, not in time. And actually there was some rain when we showed up today at around 9:45, 10 a.m. So with the turf, the field is slightly damp.
With the rain, you know we're starting to get into baseball season. That's a good sign.
Exactly. That's how Mother Nature knows it's baseball season, when it starts to rain. 3-1 outside corner, called a strike. Count full. Camden 1-3 in the early half of the campaign, or early part of the campaign. Dropped a doubleheader to Ann Arundel of Maryland on the opening weekend on the road. And then, as we mentioned, split the doubleheader this past Saturday, yesterday, with RCSJ. 3-2, fouled back by Monteith. Really like that piece of hitting by Monteith there, taking the fastball in the outer half of the plate and getting it the other way. A lot of times hitters like to think that if the ball's hit foul, it's worthless. But guess what? If he takes that, that's strike three pretty easily. So if he wasn't going to get good contact on it, the fact that he's getting any contact at all is a net plus. It's a 3-2. That ball high out towards center field. Delaney goes over, and Mastero cuts him off. Thompson's going to go to third. He'll tag up, and Camden's got a runner on third with 2 down in the first. And again, that's good defensive hitting that time. 3-2, got to hit anything close. You can't afford, you can't afford to go down looking. And Bradley's already got 1 strikeout here in the first, but the fact that he was able to take a fastball about letter high, get it high enough into the outfield to get Thompson to move over, that's a net benefit for any team and any hitter. Bradley now facing Cole Hudson. First pitch is a swing and a miss late, and it's 0-1.
Cole Hudson, the Delsey grad from last year, played with a bunch of MLB talents now, like Frank Caron.
Yeah, Frank Chiron, second-round pick out of Delsey Regional, and first-year head coach Vincent Lundino. As the 0-1, low. Hudson had 69 hits in his 4 seasons with the Crusaders, high school average of .340. Again, 3 of those years were under Joe Smith, who's now coaching over at Mainland Regional in Linwood. And then Vincent Londino, the assistant, stepped up for him. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Joe Mayer will lead things off for the Roadrunners in the bottom of the first, but definitely will be a big opportunity for Camden to get on the board here in the first inning. RCSJ won game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, 14-5, which included an 8-run 5th inning. But today will be a full 9. Here's the 1-2. Chopped foul and almost wiped out his batter in the on-deck circle. That's Chase Conway, the right fielder. And again, Aiden Stranahan will be getting the start, the Pittman High School grad. So we'll get to see him in the bottom of the first. Again, here from the beautiful Rutgers Camden complex in the University District and the waterfront of Camden, New Jersey. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Bradley picks up 2 Ks and is unfazed by a Chase Thompson double. Through a half frame here in Camden, it's the Roadrunners 0 and the Cougars 0 with the blue and gold getting the bat right after this. Welcome back here from the campus of Rutgers Camden, as we've got RCSJ and Camden County. On the mound for Camden is Aiden Stranahan. He had no earned runs in his high school senior year at Pittman High School. Had 9 unearned runs, 43 Ks, 14 walks, 19 hits allowed in 36 innings of work, as Joe Mayer will be the leadoff batter.
Leading off for the Roadrunners, shortstop Joe Mayer.
So it'll be Mayer and Apicella in the 2-hole. Pretty familiar from last year. Camden went down scoreless in the top of the first, had an early double from Thompson, but left the runner on third. First pitch is a strike. 0-1. Mayer manning shortstop, as he did during almost all of his freshman year. That ball smoked out towards right field, down the right field line, and it is gone. Joe Mayer, leadoff home run for the Roadrunners, and he'll find the adjacent street down the right field line. He conquers the monster, and the Roadrunners lead 1-0. Just 2 pitches in, and he finds a way to tag Stranahan for a long ball. Roadrunners hit 5 home runs in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday in a relatively pitcher-friendly Camden County Stadium, but Roadrunners get the long ball going early.
Mayer's been a great player from last year. It's a great piece to hit in there. Definitely as a leadoff batter, really brings energy right to this Roadrunners team.
And it gives the Roadrunners a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Estimated distance on that ball, powered by Google Analytics, 343 feet. As this one's going to miss up and in. Roadrunners opened up their season with a split doubleheader at the Allegheny College of Maryland in Richmond, Virginia. They were supposed to play 4 games that weekend, as, Apicella got jammed right in front of Stranahan. Throw to first is in time. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Roadrunners starting lineup. Well, you just saw the first 2, Joe Mayer and Alex Apicella. Nick Slogic, the grad of Bishop McDevitt in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, bats third. Jack Mastero, the Gloucester Catholic grad, is in right. Nick Izzo in left. Caleb Delaney, the West Effort grad, is in the 6th slot. Carter Comiskey out of the GMC Conference in Spotwood is in 7th. Jaden Rosado in 8th out of Bridgewater Raritan. And this one's popped straight up. And then we mentioned Gavin Cohen in the 9th slot. Caught it first. 2 down now as Slogic pops out on the first pitch, and we'll get to see Jack Mastero for the first time in a Roadrunner uniform.
Stranahan doing a great job finding his command back. You know, it's not easy after giving up a leadoff home run and, battling back, finding the strike zone. He's doing a great job keeping his composure. That's one thing Stranahan's known for doing, keeping his composure and throwing strikes.
Got a lot of good velo on that fastball, too, as Mastero takes a strike. 2 Tri-County grads, Jack Mastero out of Gloucester Catholic, Aiden Stranahan out of Pittman. I mean, Gloucester Catholic for a time was in the Tri-County Classic Division and shared a division with the Panthers. But in 2023, they were moved to the Tri-County Royal due to their tremendous success that they've had under Dennis Barth. And they now play opponents like Kingsway and Washington Township, Williamstown, Clearview.
Couldn't imagine nowadays Pittman playing Gloucester Catholic.
Yeah, I don't know. John Hopley would have his hands full. Here's the 0-1. That one's grounded out towards second base, picked up. Oh, he bobbled it. He'll grab it on the bare hand, and he'll have time to throw out Mastero. But a leadoff jack out to right by Joe Mayer gets the scoring started. A quick first otherwise here in Camden. It's the Roadrunners 1 and the Cougars 0 after the first frame.
Is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research. Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
Tommy Bradley here in the top of the second inning. Roadrunners got a leadoff run on a solo shot by Joe Mayer. And the first pitch is away. Each team ran through 4 hitters, 1 hit each in the first. Colin Thompson had a double. Joe Mayer had the home run. But again, great composure by Stranahan to come back, get 3 quick outs in just 5 pitches, as that one is foul. Conway now the batter, the right fielder. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Conway, Yates, and Eric Berger. But again, John Scanzano, longtime mainstay in the recruiting scene in South Jersey. I mean, everybody and their mother has heard of Scanzano Combat and, you know, what he's been able to do, get these players exposure. So before Camden County, he was the head coach at King's Christian, the NJCAA independent, although they're not even in the NJCAA. They're in the Tri-States Christian Association. I don't think that's the right abbreviation, but that ball's hit well. Wind is going to keep this one in the ballpark, though. Delaney is under it, and he'll make the catch for the can of corn, 1 away.
Yeah, Dan, and you were saying about the him giving exposure. A lot of times, these kids, right after high school, they're like, where do I go? Where do I go? Sometimes the powerhouse schools, they don't get an offer from there. Here, everybody gets exposure, and that's a really good part. Everybody wants to play baseball after high school, but sometimes you don't get the best of the opportunities. So coming here is a great choice.
Absolutely, and you know, I think that, you know, both of these schools have a lot to offer for these players. I mean, you know, listen, RCSJ, we're seeing 2 different styles of roster building, if you will. I mean, the pitcher on the hill is Tommy Bradley. He's a Philadelphia Catholic League guy. You've got other PCL guys like Nick Slogic over at first base. You have some South Jersey guys, like a lot of the outfield South Jersey. Delaney's a West Deptford grad. Mastero's Gloucester Catholic. But Camden County is very much more local. I mean, I'd say 90% of the guys on this Cougars team are South Jersey born and raised. But, again, it's just a different style. You know, I think that with the 3 national championships, Rob Valley and his crew, they have a lot of confidence. And they have a lot of pull in the recruiting scene. But it's always difficult to get a really good angle, or I should say a really good perception of who is going to be successful in the junior college season. Everybody knows who the superstars are, but who's going to fill out the rest of that bracket? You know, Bergen is 4-3. They've already played 7 games this year. Is that going to be sustainable? That one's foul, and it's 3-2. But it's not like NCAA recruiting where you can get a really good eye on who is going to be good year over year over year. In JUCO, you only have 2 years to build a roster, and the roster is more or less turned on its head every single season as the payoff is a swing and a miss. Bradley picks up his 3rd strikeout, and it's at the hands of Conway. This will bring up Eric Berger now, the sophomore, the product of Overbrook.
The designated hitter, number 99, Eric Berger.
Under Coach Greg Himes in the Tri-County Diamond. His younger brother, Tyler, is entering his senior season at Overbrook. That one is a breaking ball. Call the strike.
Overbrook produces a lot of good athletes over there in Pine Valley.
Pine Hill, if I'm not mistaken.
Pine Hill, yeah, sorry.
Close enough, though. Camden County, near that Clementon area. As that one's away, 1-1. But he definitely was a big piece of that Camden team last season, donning the number 99. That's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Tommy Bradley's breaking ball, especially to these righties, is fading away, and it's working superbly. Really able to get everything that he wants out of that slider.
Just one thing as a pitcher, you gotta have a good breaking ball. You can't just have a good fastball. It's gotta be even.
Swing and a miss. 4 Ks for Tommy Bradley, and he picks up 2 in a row to end the second. We're through a frame and a half here in Camden underneath the Ben Franklin Bridge as the Roadrunners still lead this one 1-0.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Woo!
Nick Izzo leads us off in the bottom of the second, 1-0 RCSJ. First pitch, breaking ball, called the strike outside corner. Swing and a miss there. Oh, 0-2. Again, the 5, 6, and 7 batters for RCSJ. Izzo takes outside. Another good breaking ball there from Stranahan. Izzo, Delaney, and Comiskey. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stranahan gave up a leadoff home run, but had very easy outs afterwards as there's a ground ball hit towards second, backhanded, picked up by DiMatteo. Throw to first is in time. And there's one away here in the second. So here's Caleb Delaney.
Great job of Stranahan, just finding the zone. Great pitches here, just getting ground balls. That's all you really need, Dan. I mean, just giving up a leadoff home run, all you need to do is just pitch to the strike zone and let your fielders do the rest.
Well, I think Stranahan knows the situation of this field as well. I mean, you're playing on all turf, so you're going to have ground balls that will roll. They're not going to stop in the grass or mud as they would on a natural surface. So, you know, if you can induce ground balls or weak contact, you're going to get that ball to roll, which is going to make the job of your infielders easier. That one goes to DiMatteo. He spins. He fires. He got him. Matt DiMatteo, the Haddon Heights grad, with 2 nice plays at second base. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the second. And Stranahan making very quick work, again, inducing contact. That wasn't weak or hard contact. It was right in the middle, and DiMatteo able to range and get the spinning throw for back-to-back 4-3 groundouts. This will bring up Carter Comiskey. Had a brother committed to Seton Hall, or Casey Comiskey, rather, who is playing over in East Orange, New Jersey, for the Pirates. The 0-1 is inside. But, yeah, Carter and Casey, both grads of Spotswood High School. Got to see them some 2-3 years ago in the Coaches versus Cancer Classic down in Atlantic County.
Spotswood, another really good program, right? I believe.
Yeah, they've had many good seasons in the GMC, Greater Middlesex Conference. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Lightning fast work by Aiden Stranahan as he picks up his first strikeout of the day, but otherwise induces 2 ground balls to Matt DiMatteo. We're through 2 frames here in Camden. 1-0 Roadrunners. Two innings gone out of 9 here in Camden. Aiden Milligan leads us off 8-9-1 for Camden County. Both teams went down in order in the second here in the rubber match. As how about that? It's an excuse me swing, barely went around, and the throw is saved by Slogic at first as he basically fell on one knee. The throw was super short, and a complicated 1-3 putout from start to finish gives us our first out of the third.
Yeah, a little bit of a wacky play there, but got the job done.
Counts just the same.
As long as you get the job done here. You know, it's early March, behind the season. All you need to do is just make the plays. Nothing crazy. No ESPN highlights.
This one's grounded foul by DiMatteo, the Haddon Heights grad. They've been having some great seasons in recent years. Definitely a favorite in South Jersey Group 2, made 2 sectional championships in 2023 and 2024. Just missed the mark this season, but they've got a lot of talent, including Jack Nichols, who's committed to Tennessee. That's a high chopper. Hesitated, and he's safe. Infield single, DiMatteo, and the hesitation will hurt the Roadrunners, as over at second base just couldn't feel. He fielded it cleanly. It's hard to get the high bounce to go your way, but he didn't let the ball go right away, and that'll cost the Roadrunners as Gavin Cohen with a little bit of a miscue. But I'd still call that an infield hit. Definitely still
but
it's still a little bit iffy. But
coming to my experience as a second baseman, you know, judging these balls on a turf field and a grass field is a little bit different. You know, he might be used to be on a grass field there at RCSJ where the ball rolls a little bit differently. But on the turf, you gotta bounce it up a little bit different.
I'll tell you, knowing RCSJ, that field, it works very differently.
Yeah.
Throwback to first, standing up is Bradley. Throwback not in time, but DiMatteo gets aboard. Bentliff is the batter. Strikeout swinging his first time. And the 0-1. Check swing, appeal to second. No, he says yes. A home plate umpire had the final say there, did not appeal. I have a lot of our CSJ baseball and softball coming up next week. We'll talk about that at the next change. As
Looks like the sun's coming out a little bit.
a little bit. That's what we were expecting today. A little bit of sunshine. That one is high. This time he's going to appeal, and he says yes. 50-50 one there, as that one's going to be a strikeout. Bentliff goes down. That is now 5 Ks for the sophomore Tommy Bradley.
Shortstop number 7, Colin Thompson.
Here's Colin Thompson.
Bradley's doing a really good job mixing his pitches. I mean, he's throwing his fastball really good, but he's also using that breaking ball you see, which is really good as a pitcher, especially to get a lot of outs here.
That
Great
breaking
job,
ball
Bradley.
was very nice versus right-handed hitters. As Slogic thought he had DiMatteo, he does not. 2 away here in the top of the third.
If you take a look at first base, you see the size difference from Slogic.
Absolutely, it's night and day.
Slogic might be bigger than most of the first basemans in the MLB.
Yeah, well, he's 6'4", so again, came out of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Bishop McDevitt. Thompson, 167 average. No homers, 1 RBI, 3 runs scored, and 1 stolen base. Rosado setting up outside. There's a reason why. Here goes DiMatteo, and he got him. Jaden Rosado had that called perfectly, and he knocks down Matt DiMatteo at second base. He read it perfectly. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0 RCSJ. Welcome back. Bottom of the third. Roadrunners lead by 1. It's 1-0 as Jaden Rosado, after picking up, there'll be a strike called there, as Rosado, who just came off of throwing out Matt DiMatteo at second base, now gets to bat on his own accord in the bottom of the third. Grounds this one to third. On one hop at the hot corner. Hudson gets to throw over, and there's 1 away. So bring up the number 9 hitter for the Roadrunners in Gavin Cohen.
This is a big game for the Roadrunners in CCC. I mean, both teams want to win the series. Winning series this early in the season is a very big milestone because you got to get these wins. All these wins matter when it comes time for playoffs.
This one's popped up. Cohen got it on the first pitch. Stranahan goes off the mound and going over towards shortstop, or going over from shortstop to second base. Thompson covers a wide range and makes the play. So just 3 pitches for 2 outs, and I tell you, I mean, Stranahan has been doing a fantastic job with getting those outs very quickly. Again, he's inducing contact. He's only got 1 strikeout here in 2 2/3 so far. He's really been good at establishing the zone and finding his way no matter what count it is. And there's a beautiful pitch inside, called for a strike, going 1. Again, that breaking ball wraps around, goes back in at the hips of the batter.
and he hasn't gave up a hit since Joe Mayer. So
hasn't given up anything since that leadoff home run. This ball's hit well out towards left center field. It'll be straight away, though, towards the 378 sign, backpedaling. And it's the center fielder who brings it in to retire the side. So 9 straight batters have been retired for Aiden Stranahan after giving up a leadoff homer. We're through 3 here in Camden. It's 1-0 Roadrunners.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 4th inning, first pitch to Colin Thompson is away, 1-0. Thompson will restart his at-bat after his teammate got thrown out at second base, Matt DiMatteo. But Aiden Stranahan has retired 9 straight batters after giving up a leadoff homer. Thompson, center field. Delaney makes the catch, 1 away. And now it'll be Ian Monteith, the batter.
yeah, Stranahan doing a great job. I don't even want to glaze him too much because I'm a Pittman guy, but he's really been doing a great job. He's been surrounded his whole life with great coaches, and you know that it's really important for him to have such good coaches throughout his career. You know, make him the player he is today.
First pitch from Bradley to Monteith is outside, 1-0. Roadrunners have a southpaw warming up in the bullpen. Camden, no action yet. Strike called, 1-1. Bradley with 5 strikeouts in 3 innings as the 1-1 is fouled back. Left-hander is Brevin Bezic out of Middletown South, warming up in the pen for the Roadrunners. Another returning sophomore for the blue and gold. Bradley looking for a half dozen on the board as the 1-2 is a swing and a miss, and he's got 6 Ks, 2 down. In the bottom of the 4th inning, stay tuned for DWB Trivia Time. There will be a new way to play this year. So instead of doing our question in the top of the 4th and your answer in the bottom of the 4th, we'll be doing both in the bottom half of the 4th inning. When the question is submitted, you can submit your comment onto our YouTube page, and we'll unveil the answer in about 2 or so minutes after the question is answered. If you put your name or put your answer, you don't have to put your name, we'll just put your YouTube page in the comment section. If you get the answer right, you'll be added to a leaderboard, and at the end of the season, the person who has the most points will receive a Dan Wilkins Broadcasting merchandise package of a sweatshirt, a trucker hat, a beanie, and a drawstring backpack. You must be in the lower 48 of the United States for shipping, but we'll be adding all of your names to a leaderboard if you participate in Trivia Time this year. So whether you watch one game or anywhere from 80 to 90 games, you'll have a chance to win some DWB merch by the end of the year by knowing some baseball trivia. So we'll have the answer in the bottom of the fourth, and my guess is between 1 and 2 outs, we'll unveil the answer to today's question. 2-1 is foul. And we'll have a lot of games this week, so baseball on Tuesday, baseball on Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday. So right there, those are 5 chances to get yourself closer to DWB merchandise. We've been doing Trivia Time for a long time now, since at least 2023, but I wanted to up the ante a little bit this year, have a little bit of competition. But Tommy Bradley's somebody who likes competition as well. He's got 7 strikeouts through 4 shutout innings as the sun is shining here in Camden, and the Roadrunners want to get their offense ablazing. It's 1-0 going to the bottom of the fourth.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Alex Apicella leads us off in the bottom of the fourth inning as Stranahan looking to, or at least he already has, repaid his program after 9 straight outs. Gave up a leadoff home run to Joe Mayer the opposite way. 2, 3, and 4 for the Roadrunners. First pitch is inside. We promised you trivia time. Let's give you trivia time. Today's question is, who is the only member of the 2008 World Series champion Phillies to also have played for the Camden River Sharks? After all, this stadium was the home of the River Sharks. This was demolished in 2015 and rebuilt as the Rutgers Camden baseball field. Your options are A, Jeff Jenkins, B, Chad Durbin, C, Pedro Feliz, or D, Jason Worth. We'll reveal the answer with 2 outs in the inning. And again, if you comment your answer, you don't need to comment anything else other than your answer. We'll add your name to a leaderboard, and at the end of the season, you might win some merchandise of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. That ball is ripped left field. Apicella going back. It is gone into the parking lot. Alex Apicella now gives up the second home run off of Stranahan as the Roadrunners extend their lead to 2. That ball was cranked out to left field. Not a lot of balls go out that way with the wind, but today he conquers Camden's ballpark to make it 2-0 here in the fourth.
That's a great piece of hitting there by Apicella. Did it last year too. The guy can just hit. He's a great power bat. He really just gets the job done. It's just a great piece of hitting. Sends it to left center and gets a home run.
You're absolutely right, as Apicella had a grand slam in the Region 19 tournament versus RCSJ Cumberland. That was a game that the Roadrunners won 16-0. As they'll send somebody out to get the baseball, and they'll say that Slogic got hit. So they'll put him on first base, and Jack Mastero will be the batter now. Yeah, this is where Camden, I think, struggles a little bit, is under this pressure with base runners on. I mean, you know, we were praising Aiden Stranahan for the fact that he had – we were praising him for the fact that he had 9 straight guys retired. But then after that, He's now given up a home run and a hit by pitch.
One thing I want to point out, I was watching the World Baseball Classic last night. I was watching the commentators from it was the Team USA game versus the Great Britain, and they were saying how games come down to depth. If you don't have the depth in the pitchers,
here's the ground ball. DiMatteo, 4-6-3, double play. So Mostero grounds out, hit it to the right side of the infield for the second time. This time he takes out Slogic with him, and there's 2 away now. We were talking about DWB trivia time. Let's take a look at that question one more time. Who is the only member of the 2008 World Series Phillies to also have played for the Camden River Sharks? The options are A, Jeff Jenkins, B, Chad Durbin, C, Pedro Feliz, or D, Jason Worth. And the correct answer is C, Pedro Feliz. He is the only member of the program, or of the 2008 Phillies, to have played for the River Sharks. He played after his Major League days were over in 2011 and 2012. That one's fouled away.
I don't know if I would know that myself. You know, I am a little bit
younger, yeah,
than you,
but
Dan, but
well, none of those players besides Jason Worth are really stars either. You have to know a lot about the 08 Phillies to know who Jeff Jenkins was, our starting right fielder. That one's up and in.
Still really impressive though that he was able to play on the River Sharks and then transfer to the MLB.
Well, no, it was after his Major League career.
Okay, sorry.
He played in the big leagues for some 10 years. You know, long-time San Francisco Giant in the 2000s. Played alongside Barry Bonds. As this one is poked, high chopper to third. Camden waits on it, throw to first. Bang, bang, play is in time, and the side is retired. So a double play and a close call at first retire the side. As we're through 4 here at the Camden Athletic Complex, 2-0 in favor of the Roadrunners.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Welcome back. Jace Conway is our batter to lead off the top of the 5th. 2 hits apiece here in the first 4 innings of play. Playing a full 9 today, as that one's a strike called. This broadcast is brought to you by our friends over at the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events. Nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. That's a fair ball. Left field line. Apicella deep in the hole. One hop. He got him.
Manny Machado type play over there at the hot corner.
Very close play over at third. I wouldn't call it the level of Machado, but he's got, you know, again, that's very difficult to field that ball very deep in that third base hole. But what's also important is that the ball, that play does not work on a grass field. Because he's able to use that turf to his advantage, get the one hop to Slogic. There's a line drive. First pitch picked up. Cohen again hesitates. Throw to first is in time.
Seemed a little bit hesitant there.
Yeah, that's the second time he's had kind of a odd lollygag throw to first. I don't know what his deal is, but it hasn't been easy.
Being at second base, you got a lot of times though, so.
Especially with that line drive that was hit right to him. He had a lot of time.
You don't gotta rush your throw. You take your time and set your feet.
That's exactly what he did, and he got the play. Berger, how about this? We're going to have a 4-pitch inning. Got him. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Blazing fast. Top of the 5th. We go to the bottom half. We'll see if Stranahan will be able to keep that pace. We mentioned that Brevin Bezik's warming up at the bullpen for the Roadrunners. We're halfway home. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Just beneath the Ben Franklin Bridge, Aiden Stranahan still on the hill. We'll be on the air on Tuesday, March the 10th, from this very field for NCAA Division III baseball and non-conference play between two New Jersey foes, the Centenary Cyclones and the Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. Showing bunt is Delaney, but it's foul. 0-1 to the center fielder. So it'll be Centenary and Rutgers Camden on Tuesday. First pitch at 3:30, and then we'll be back at the home of the Roadrunners for a standalone game versus Bergen. That one is inside, 1-1. Bit of a rocky second for Stranahan after he retired 9 in a row, gave up a second home run, this time to Alex Apicella.
Seems like RCSJ, they either get ground balls into outs or they either hit home runs.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting, but I mean, listen, Stranahan hunkered down again. He had that leadoff homer, just like Mayer's home run was leading off the bottom of the first. It's the 1-2. Delaney takes that one low, below the knees. But again, even after the home run and the hit by pitch, Mastero immediately grounded into a double play, and then Nick Izzo grounded out to third. It's Delaney, Comiskey, and Rosado. There's another ground ball, another chance for DiMatteo. He'll pick this one up. Throw to first is in time. Just one away. So we have Bergen and RCSJ on Wednesday, and then we'll flip over to the softball diamond for NJCAA softball in non-region play between the Cecil Seahawks of Elkton, Maryland versus the Roadrunners. That'll be a Friday doubleheader, times at 3 and 5. For Roadrunner softball. And then two more baseball doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday versus Ocean County, 12 and 3. And then they'll play Monroe University of New York on Sunday the 15th. That ball's hit out towards center field. Fading towards the right. Wind led him a little bit astray, but he'll make the catch nonetheless. And Comiskey is retired for out number 2.
Seems like the wind has been keeping some of these balls in the air, which is a really good thing for these outfielders.
Rosado now at the dish here, the Bridgewater Raritan grad. We talked about Max Newell and Bridgewater Raritan, kind of an honorary South Jersey team. And I say honorary South Jersey because Bridgewater Raritan's head coach, Max Newell, is from Delran. And he commutes from Delran to coach the Panthers.
Some hard commitment there.
It very much is. They went 30 and 3 in 2024, won every championships you can imagine. The Somerset County Championship. They won the Skyland Conference Tournament. And they won the Group 4 State Championship over Eastern. So they had their work cut out for them, but again, 30 and 3. We saw them on opening day of that year versus Rancocas Valley. As the 1-2 is up at the letters. But what I'll say as well is that Rosado has a teammate from that very team that he faced in that game, Matt Hewitt, who was a senior at Rancocas Valley at the time when Rosado was a junior back in 2024. That one's roped into center field. There's a base hit. Jaden Rosado gets tagged off of Aiden Stranahan. He'll take a big turn, and he'll stop there. So a 2-out base hit to keep the offense going for Jaden Rosado.
Rosado wasn't fooled by that breaking ball right there. You know, that's a great piece of hitting right there. He sits back with his barrel and relaxes. He doesn't get too hesitant. He doesn't swing early. He waits back on that breaking ball and puts it right off the middle. Great piece of hitting.
Absolutely, a fantastic piece of hitting that there by Rosado. He jumps off of first. Will not move that one, though. Our first high school game will be on March 23rd. Can't tell you who we're playing yet, though, because we'll have our DWB baseball schedule reveal on Saturday, March 14th. We won't have a show for it like we did last year, but we will have it at 6 p.m. on Saturday the 14th. Right now, we've got 45 high school baseball games in 8 different counties across South and Central Jersey, and we're going to be covering a lot of different leagues and conferences. So it's going to be fun. We hope you're along for the ride with us for the high school baseball season. Now what's inside. Just wrapped up a fantastic high school basketball season last night at the Central Jersey Group 3 sectional championship between Middletown South and West Hampton Tech. West Hampton won their first ever sectional final, 66-56. There's a strike called, 3-1.
A lot of media for New Jersey has been doing a great job for high school basketball. We're good friends at NJ Hoops Media, Colin Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a great job covering the area. And that's what we need more in South Jersey, is more media.
3-1. Inside. That'll be ball 4, and Gavin Cohen gets aboard. So little 2-out rally in the works for the Roadrunners after 2 quick outs. Walking a single here. Extends the inning in the 5th. Mayer is up. He homered off of Stranahan in the bottom of the 1st.
This is the guy you want for the Roadrunners up here. You got guys in scoring position. This is who you exactly want up to the plate right now.
As a strike call, there's some folks checking out the game up top. For a long time, that passenger bridge was closed. So you weren't able to actually watch the game from up there. The Patco train passes underneath. What a beautiful ballpark this is. We've mentioned the history of this ballpark ad nauseum, but if you haven't heard the story yet, obviously on top of oh, hold on here. That one is deflected off of Hudson. That's going to be an infield reach there for Mayer, as now the bases are loaded for RCSJ, and Aiden Stranahan in his biggest trouble yet. 2 quick outs and an E5 now.
I don't know. I guess you would mark that as an E5. It is.
I think it's pretty standard. It's ordinary routine. It was a one-hop popped out of his glove.
You could call it. I mean, yeah, I would say more of an error, but
the official scorebook will call that one an E5, which again is the right call. It's an ordinary effort play. If it was a line drive and it hit off his glove, then you could have that conversation. But it wasn't that hard hit of a ground ball. But that is where scoring becomes difficult, is that you have a set of rules to follow, but you have to interpret the rules. You know, I mean, you do kind of have that problem in basketball with assists. You know, what counts as an assist? The player has to make a straight drive to the basket after you give him the ball. It's very different. And that's the one thing about baseball scoring, is that when it comes to hits and errors, it is not cut and dry. And you see a lot of misuse of scoring at the lower levels and at the high school level because people don't know the rules of baseball. Here's the 1-2. Up at the letters.
Like you were telling me, Dan, in the NCAA, they're required to have the stats online. Like, they're required to have the stats ready to go.
And they have to be accurate.
Yeah. You can't have...
At the high school level, it's very much more, okay, do I trust the numbers that I'm reading? Here's the 2-2. Apicella, right field. This one's going to stay in the ballpark. Monteith backing up, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. The Roadrunners load the bases, but Aiden Stranahan, through adversity, gets out of it with a fly ball to right. We're through 5. It's the Roadrunners 2 and the Cougars 0.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, New Jersey at 614 Lambs Road. Just minutes from Route 55 as we go to the top of the sixth. Tommy Bradley is still on the hill, and after a bases-loaded jam, did not yield any runs for the Roadrunners. They certainly do not want to stress Aiden Stranahan's or stretch his limits any further, as they are going to get the bullpen running. Just some hoodies and just some players with hoodies out there right now. So when we get a jersey number, we'll tell you who's warming up out there. But Tommy Bradley, 6 Ks through 5 innings. First, the 0-1 is foul.
I think it's a good job by Rob Valley keeping him out here. I mean, they've gone through a lot of pitching throughout the series, so keeping it in here limits the other people they have to use. So I think it's a good decision by Rob Valley here.
Definitely agree. I think it's it's very interesting. I mean, obviously, the Roadrunners have had a long history of coaches either coming from a Division I background or going to a Division I background. Before Valley, a couple guys before Valley was Barry Davis, who coached for 10 years from 1995 to 2005, as there's a K for Milligan. It's going to bring up DiMatteo. Strikeout number 7 for Tommy Bradley. 1 away here in the top of the 6th as the left-hander out of Haddon Heights grounds this one foul. Got just behind it there. Brevin Bezic, though, the left-hander, has been warming up in the bullpen for nearly 2 innings full now, so have to imagine he'll be next in the line of succession for Rob Valley. But again, we were saying Barry Davis, 10-year head coach for the Roadrunners from 95 to 05, and then ended up coaching 20 years at Rider University in Lawrenceville. Recently retired from the position at the end of the 2025 season. And he actually visited campus during the fall, got to talk to a lot of the players, and was really able to, you know, kind of instill in them what it means to be a Roadrunner and what it means to be a part of such a successful and storied program. But then Coach Valley, 800 wins in a Roadrunner uniform, but before that was the head coach of Temple Baseball just across the bridge. Their program closed in 2014 and has not been back since. I'm really hoping that Temple Baseball can make a comeback.
Well, you saw LaSalle.
Absolutely.
They made a big comeback this year, and they're doing pretty good for them. So
I think LaSalle's program was less affected by COVID and more affected by funding, because they did play a 2021 season, and their head coach mentioned, I was watching LaSalle and Clemson yesterday, the broadcast on the SEC network, as their strike 3 call. That's 8 now for Bradley, back-to-back, as DiMatteo goes down looking. It's 2 away for Bentliff. But my point is that LaSalle had one of their best seasons in program history in the Atlantic 10 in 2021, and then their program closed. But baseball is a sport that requires a home field that takes up a lot of space if your campus is small, and it's played during a very cold time of the year. And it's a program that also requires a lot of funding. There's some Power 5 schools that have either never had baseball or haven't had baseball in a long time now. Wisconsin, Colorado, Syracuse, to name a few. Wisconsin mostly and Colorado because they really can't play in that colder weather. But to be fair, Utah, BYU, Utah State, they all have baseball programs. So does Colorado State. There's a ground ball foul.
It's hard when you got to play this early. You got to play in this early February weather, where up there it's still very, really cold. It's just a hard thing for those schools to do.
And again, it's partially the weather, it's partially the funding. You know, it's not like a basketball team where you just need a hardwood. You need an entire dedicated home field that needs constant maintenance.
You gotta have people to take care of it.
Think about it in the sense of a soccer field or a football field. You can play in almost any condition as long as it's not thunder and lightning out for football and soccer. The field can get wet. The field can get muddy. In baseball, you need extra protective equipment to keep your infield dry. And you need all the different accessories that baseball players need. So, you know, sometimes baseball's a program that a lot of athletic departments in Division I NCAA look to put on the chopping block sometimes. As that one's fouled back. It's 2-2, but I'm very happy LaSalle came back for baseball. I mean, baseball's alive and well in Philly. You got guys from the Philly Public League, the Philadelphia Catholic League. LaSalle has 8 guys on their roster from South Jersey, a handful from Williamstown, some from Bishop Eustace. A lot of talented athletes down there. And you've already got Villanova, St. Joe's.
I'm glad that just South Jersey recruiting is back. I mean, we've seen a lot of players like Frank Tyrone, Bodine, you know, get drafted, and it brings a lot of
Logan Dawson.
It brings a lot of happiness here to the South Jersey community to see these players really thriving.
Yeah, I said it on our South Jersey Starting 9 podcast a few weeks ago. There has never been a better time to be a baseball player in South Jersey. Payoff from Bradley. Line drive, center field. Delaney goes in. He's got a read on it, and it's in time to retire the side. 2 Ks and a fly out to center. Bradley's got a hitless 6th. And Rob Valley still has a lot of confidence in him as he walks off the hill. 2-0 Roadrunners going to the bottom of the 6th here in Camden. Nick Slogic leads us off here in the bottom of the 6th inning here on a mostly cloudy day, but the sun just starting to break through the thin clouds as on the shift, DiMatteo picks this one up, and a 4-3 ground out starts the bottom of the 6th on the first pitch.
That's a big thing for CCC to get Slogic out. I mean, he already has 3 home runs this season. You don't want to give another home run to him. Great job, Stranahan, finding his composure and getting a ground ball.
That was very similar to what we saw Stranahan do in the first few innings of the game. Get early contact, initiate a ground ball, and with DiMatteo in the shift, they're going to do it again. This one this time to the shortstop. And that one's in time from Thompson. So 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 6th. And really quick work made by Stranahan and his infielders, DiMatteo and Thompson.
Really saving his pitch count, too.
After loading the bases in the 5th, he's basically just working dividends to get that one back. After facing the maximum without allowing a run, 6 batters. First pitch to Izzo. That one's low. So we've had a 5-pitch inning. We've had a 4-pitch inning, and if he made contact on that, we could have had a 3-pitch inning. But a 4-3 and a 6-3 to start the bottom of the 6th. As that one is a strike called. Outside corner, nice looping breaking ball from Stranahan. As we mentioned, did not allow an earned run during his senior year of high school at Pittman. 9 unearned runs, but a 0.00 ERA. That one is flared out towards right. Going over down the line towards the bullpen. It's going to go out of play as everybody had to scramble, and it's 1-2. If the inning continues, the West Deptford grad Caleb Delaney will be next. But we do have a number on the gentleman warming up down the right field line. That is number 21 in Mike Manera, the Clayton grad.
Both teams haven't gone to their bullpen yet. It seems like next inning they probably will.
Yeah, got to cover the Manera brothers a handful of times. One's a pitcher, one's a catcher, and they both had some great years over in Clayton. As the 2-2, ground ball, third base side, high chopper to Hudson. Throw to first is in time, and another quick inning by Aiden Stranahan. 2 pitches, gets 2 outs, and another 5 takes care of the third. As we've got the final 9 outs on each side coming up. 2-0 Roadrunners.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Welcome back. Brevin Bezic is your new pitcher. Tommy Bradley finishes his afternoon with 6 innings, 7 Ks, and just 2 hits. No walks or runs. So he has had a very strong performance, and he now hands it over to Brevin Bezic. We were kind of joking about how long he was going to spend in the bullpen, and he now gets his time here in the top of the 7th inning over the Camden County Cougars. 2 hits today for them, one from Matt DiMatteo and an infield single, and the other off of a double in the top of the 1st from Colin Thompson. The shortstop, the middle infield worked superbly for Camden today. It's just a swing and a miss. by Thompson, and it's 1-2. It's Thompson, Monteith, and Hudson. The 2, 3, and 4, the meat of the order for the Cougars as they look to get on the board off of Bezic. That one is outside, just a hair.
Yeah, and this game isn't necessarily over. It's only a 2-0 game, but Camden County, they just got to get the bats rolling here.
Bezic, 8 career appearances, including today, as there's a ground ball, hits it on the right side. One hop, and close call.
Really close
Very
call
close call over at first. And there's one away.
You've seen a lot today. A lot of the Roadrunners players, especially over there at second base, they're really hesitant there. Don't know really why, but
It's specifically Cohen. It's definitely a little odd, but first pitch is a swing and a foul tip. Let's take a look at that replay real quick of that play at second base. See if he beat it out. Let's see. He's running up the line, gets it. That's close.
that is really close.
That might have nearly been a tie over at first base, but
We don't got New York. We can't call over to New York.
yeah,
here,
can't
but
call Secaucus, New Jersey for the replay, as that one's foul.
right here.
Don't worry, I flinched too. It happens to the best of us.
Us broadcasters aren't used to getting hit.
We
by
are
baseball.
right behind the plate. You know, we're not in a press box, so that one's away. To Monteith. Monteith 0 for 2, fly out to center and a strikeout. Bezic had 5 appearances as a freshman last year. Out of Middletown South, he's from Red Bank, New Jersey. 10 innings as a reliever and 13 Ks. This season, 3 2/3 in 2 appearances.
Middletown South, you guys just covered yesterday.
Yeah,
That game.
2.45 ERA. Appeared in, hold on here, ground ball, out to short, fired across the way, and it's in time. 2 down there, Mayer gets the out. Looking at a whole bunch of Camden Fire Department trucks going down, what's that street there behind Delaware?
We are right outside the city here.
That is true, yeah. I was just seeing if I could see anything, but hopefully everything's all right down there. As Bezic, first pitch, breaking ball up and away.
That's one thing I like about this ballpark. You know, you got the bridge. You can see where Philadelphia is. You know, it's a cool vibe here.
You can kind of see the hustle and bustle of the city around you. I mean, Philadelphia, I believe it's the 4th largest city in the U.S., so definitely a lot of things to see. The 1-0. Ground ball back in front of the hill. Bezic slips. They're going to say it's a dead ball, and it hit the foot of the batter.
You see Hudson a little limping off it, but you know that hurts. That hard of a ball hit off your foot, you know it's gonna hurt. But it's one thing when you play baseball, you gotta be tough in there.
No doubt about it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Sun is finally poking through on this Sunday afternoon.
Beautiful day
I mean,
out.
we're getting an extra hour of daylight savings time.
I woke up this morning. I thought it was 7
Hold
o'clock.
on here. Valley is coming out to talk to Bezic about maybe a malfunction with the pitch comm. He's trying to get the communication device to work, and he might switch it out with somebody. This is one thing that was allowed by both the NCAA and NJCAA just 3 years ago. The thing is, though, I do wonder if they call the pitches from the dugout or if they allow Rosado to call the pitches and send it to the southpaw.
I think you really got to have trust in your catcher. I think that's really
That
what it comes
is
down
me
to.
as a traditionalist baseball fan. I don't like calling pitches from the dugout. The Marlins do it. And I think that, listen, the catcher is the #1 guy when it comes to protecting his pitcher. He knows what's right for him. He knows what pitches are working well. He knows what pitches aren't working well. We've got a ground ball. That's going to shoot in the left field, base hit on a high chopper that time, and getting aboard will be Hudson for a 2-out knock here in the 7th. Now 3 hits for Camden.
To your point, Dan, I think at this level, these coaches have enough experience, though, to, you know, really trust what they believe. Even if the catcher sees something different, you got to always go back to the coach.
I agree and disagree for the sake that even the most experienced coach in the world is not on the field. And if you don't allow your catchers to set up and call the pitches, again, he's right there behind the plate. I think that, again, I'm a traditionalist baseball fan. I'm the kind of guy that groans every time I see the ghost runner on second base. I'm the kind of guy that thinks that pitch comm is fine. It definitely is a safeguard against stealing signs. The throw back to first is safe, but not in time that time. But Slogic definitely not thrilled about it. But no, I mean, as we go along in this season, and as we go along because baseball is only going to get more technological, and it's only going to advance as technology gets better. As the 0-1 from Bezic is a strike on the outside corner. You know, think about soccer, international soccer. They use VAR to determine offsides or onsides. The referee's human input is no longer needed. In Major League Baseball, you have the ball strike challenge system now. It's only going to be a matter of time before the umpires do not call balls or strikes at the Major League level anymore. That one's up and away.
That'll be a really odd change, though. I mean, baseball is, it's America's pastime.
Exactly.
So
I do like the human element, though, because
it makes the game more natural.
Exactly.
That's my
exactly. Got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throw to first, not in time. But technology's going to get better at every level. You know, only a handful of high school programs use PitchCom right now that I'm aware of in South Jersey. And there's probably a lot more that use it at the NCAA level. And I'm sure that almost every Division I program has it by now. So it's only going to trickle down. They will say he went around and the inning is over. Brevin Bezic gives up a 2-out knock but gets out of it as it's stretch time here in Camden. 2-0 RCSJ. Stretch time here at Camden, New Jersey in the Camden Athletic Complex in the bottom of the 7th inning. We don't usually get to have a stretch, but in a 9-inning game today.
5th inning stretch in high school.
Yeah, I guess so. 2-0 RCSJ. Their runs have come in the 1st and 4th innings on 2 solo home runs. One from Joe Mayer, one from Alex Apicella. This one's inside to Caleb Delaney. Aiden Stranahan, the Pittman High School grad, still on the hill in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Monero warming up in the bullpen down the right field line for John Scanzano's 4th year. Bit of an odd frame that time. Tried to catch that on the backhand, just popped out of his glove.
Seems like Stranahan's arm's getting a little bit tired here. You might have to come to his breaking ball a little bit when your fastball isn't to its top tier.
Fully expecting a fastball though here on 3-0. He does. It's at the letters, ball 4. Although to be fair, that's been consistent all day. It's been very consistent. A ball at the top of the zone there on those letters. You do have to shift it a little bit down. And again, right there, That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you talk about the human element. Every umpire's strike zone is a little bit different, and you have to adjust to that. As Camden County's pitching coach will come out. Going to talk things over with him, as coming up will be Carter Comiskey. And they will call for the right-hander. So Stranahan gives up a 4-pitch walk, and his day is done after 6 innings. Only gave up 3 hits, though, and honestly, retiring 9 straight versus the 3-peat national champions, darn good day for Aiden Stranahan. We'll have a pitching change, and Carter Comiskey will bat with a runner on first when we return from the break. We'll go from one Tri-County Classic arm to another as Mike Manera checks into the ball game. He'll replace Stranahan on the hill. Six innings is his final line. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, both on solo home runs. But again, 3-time national champion RCSJ Roadrunners, 30-0 in conference play last year. For Stranahan to give up that leadoff home run and then retire 9 straight is an incredibly impressive feat. As Manera gets 2 swings and misses there from Comiskey. No balls, 2 strikes after the swing and miss. Delaney on first after a 4-pitch walk that brought Manera in the game. 3 hits on each side. 1's away. Again, these 2 teams split their doubleheader on Saturday, so this decides the series today. But Camden and RCSJ have almost every year played super early in the season. This was the Roadrunners opener last year. There's a ground ball. That's to first. It goes right to the chest. He'll grab 1. Throw is high. Delaney is out, but now sliding into second is going to be Comiskey. Kind of a weird play, but they'll get the fielder's choice. Cannot get the out, and the runner's going to advance to second base.
I mean, you were talking about it. A lot of these teams have been struggling with errors in the beginning of the season. One thing both of these teams are gonna have to stop and prevent having errors early in the season. It's a pretty expected thing, but it's how you control them and how you get better throughout the season.
Absolutely. 1 out now, runner in scoring position. That's Camden's second error of the game. But the Roadrunners in their 14-5 win picked up 6 errors in the field. Camden had 3. So 9 errors in game 2 yesterday, and definitely a subpar combined effort in the field. As the 1-0, Manera steps off, slow throw back to second, not in time. Rosado, 1 for 2, ground out to third, and a single back up the middle in the bottom of the 5th. But again, Stranahan loaded the bases in the 5th inning, got out of it with a fly ball by Apicella. He gave up a hit, a walk, and then an error by the third baseman, Hudson. That one's away, 2-0. But this is going to be a long week for RCSJ, as they're going to have 6 games in the next week. They play on Tuesday versus Bergen, Wednesday versus Bergen, and actually, no, 7 games next week. And this is another one that they're playing today. So Tuesday away at Bergen, Wednesday home versus Bergen, Friday at Ocean County, Saturday home doubleheader versus Ocean County, and then a Sunday doubleheader to close it out versus Monroe. So you were talking about the World Baseball Classic and you were talking about depth. Well, the Roadrunners are going to need some because they are going to have their hands full from now until Sunday the 15th. 3-1 to Rosado. First base is open, and that one is jammed foul.
That's exactly right, Dan. I mean, it really comes down to who you have in your bullpen warming up. You know, baseball's a sport where you never know what's gonna happen. You don't know if your starting pitcher, his pitches are off that day. You always got to come prepared and have a good bullpen.
Missing inside, Rosado almost got clipped, but he'll go down to first on the full count, and he's on first base for the second time today. So Gavin Cohen will be the batter.
Second baseman number 1, Gavin
Cohen, 0 for 1. Pop out to short and a walk. A Holy Spirit grad in the Cape Atlantic Conference, Cape Atlantic League, excuse me, out of Brigantine, New Jersey. 5'10", 180. He's going to bunt. He'll get this right in front of Manera. Again, the ball will roll. They're going to go to third. They got him. Oh, no, he's safe. That was a close call there, and they're going to get everything they wanted as they'll get the bases loaded now for Joe Mayer.
Questionable decision there by Manera.
I don't blame him for doing it. I think he should have done it way faster, though.
I think he still could have got the play at first. That's my point.
They tried to nullify the sacrifice bunt by getting that play.
That's a beautiful
strike
bunt.
called. Let's take a look at the replay here. Going to take a look at this bunt real quick. So, got a 0-1 count. So he bunts it. It goes to the right of Manera, and then he picks it up. Ooh. Looking at that freeze frame right there. We'll look at that one more time.
There's been a lot of close calls today.
Yeah, I just think looking at it again,
it's
a little indecisive, but I think that he might have gotten him. There's a ground ball. Out to short, though. They're going to get 1. They will not get 2. That throw is airmailed into the next county, and 2 runs are going to score. Flying in from third is Rosado. He gets the run. Comiskey scores. And on a fielder's choice, you don't see it every day, but the Roadrunners are going to score 2. It's 4-0.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right when I was talking about errors, Dan.
That's going to be the third.
Error there.
Well, actually, it's not going to be an error because I think they.
That has to be an error.
Well, here's the thing, though. The runner on first did not advance to second.
That is true.
Here's the base hit in the left field. They're going to hold the runner at second, so before you can catch up, Apicella's got a base hit now, and Roadrunners are really tagging this Camden bullpen. They've got another right-hander warming up, but so to catch up for everybody that missed it, there was a fielder's choice, a 1-5 fielder's choice, no out. Even I have to update my scorebook. Swing and a miss. 0-1 to Slogic. So it's Comiskey and Rosado both came in on that last play, and then Mayer had the 6-4 fielder's choice. They'll say he went around. So 2 runs came in on that fielder's choice, and Apicella got a base hit. and that's a swing and a miss. A weird inning. That was funky. But we finally got some offense after a lot of defensive baseball here on this Sunday afternoon. It's the Roadrunners 4 and the Cougars 0 after the break.
Inning for the Cougars. First baseman Winston Yates.
Winston Yates leads us off here in the top of the 8th inning. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden. Again, we'll be back on the air on Tuesday here from Rutgers Camden for NCAA Division III baseball between the Centenary Cyclones and the Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. First pitch at 3:30 as that one's away. Brevin Bezic kind of landed off the mound awkwardly, looking over towards his dugout.
It looks like Bezik's still having problems with the pitch comm here.
Yeah,
Pulling
he's
into his ear.
got the earpiece on.
I don't really know what the problem is, but
Yeah, it's been an equipment malfunction. Still early in the season, but they're going to give him another earpiece. Now, originally, he swapped his pitch comm with Apicella at third base. I guess just to make it work, but again, that kind of technology has now trickled down to the JUCO level and a little bit at the high school level. You know, we joke about it now, but it'll be funny in 5 years when the 10U travel team all has pitch comms in their ears.
don't even get me started with that.
I'm just saying we're not far off from that reality, is what I'm saying. Fouled back, it's 1-1.
As long as we keep baseball natural, everything natural, having an umpire, I think we'll be fine.
I think we will. Yeah, I think you're right. As the 1-1. Strike called, 1-2 at the knees. Again, that zone has been shifted a little bit down tonight, but hasn't really called it at the letters. It's been at the knees and up, but still, I will say, this home plate umpire, incredibly consistent. He has been on the money with the calls. I haven't had a single strike where I've been in full doubt over it, which is not something we can say for a lot of umpires today.
There's been some questionable calls at first base, but I don't think.
But I'm talking about the home plate umpires specifically. He's done a great job.
Very consistent, yeah.
And it feels rare. We don't praise umpires that often, but
a lot of times,
in a world where we have ABS and umpires have been under scrutiny more than ever, because we can track to down to the millimeter, down to the 1/10 of a millimeter, how accurate a pitch is. You have the umpire scorecards at the major league level that said, this umpire was 88% consistent on strikes, 79% consistent on balls. They didn't have that 20 years ago. We didn't have the technology. So, again, ABS itself is a product of the need and demand for umpires to be more accurate. And that one misses low. That looked a little bit low to me. That's going to be a leadoff walk to Camden. He worked the count full, and Yates will get on.
And at the youth level, umpires, there's been a lot of shortages because umpires don't really want to do it anymore. I mean, the parents nowadays, they just start yelling, and it really just it makes it like a bad thing.
It makes a bad environment.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Absolutely. Yeah, youth baseball is something that has really turned on its head. That one's upstairs. We've got a pinch hitter in the ball game, Jake Shaw, the freshman catcher. He's hitting for Eric Berger, but Milligan is still in the on-deck circle. Camden starting to empty their bench a little bit, down by 4, trying to get a little bit of a spark in their offense. Jake Shaw, the grad of CCTS, played 4 seasons there. 5'7", 145, 67 RBIs, and 88 hits with the Warriors. Was a .378 hitter in high school with a .529 average in his senior year. So he was a star player for the CCTS Warriors, and now he's applying that to the Cougars. 1 for 2 in his at-bat so far in this season. So batting .500.
529. I mean, that's incredible.
At any level of high school, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
That's the 2-2. Brevin Bezic, dealing with a runner on first. The southpaw, 2-2. That one goes right through the legs of Rosado, and going down to second base will be Yates. So we'll have a runner in scoring position, and for the second time in as many at-bats, Brevin Bezic's got a full count.
That's one thing Camden County needed. They needed to advance a base runner. We haven't really had a lot of base runners in scoring position here today, so it's a good sign.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Bezic delivers. Up at the letters. That's ball 4. That's back-to-back walks. And now 2 runners are on for Camden. Tommy Bradley did not allow any walks in his 6 innings of work. And now Milligan will be the batter. Milligan, and then we do have a pinch hitter for DiMatteo. That ball goes into center field on the pickoff attempt, and Delaney's able to hang on to it. So that went right past him, and now a little bit of an interesting situation here as RCSJ up by 4. A double play can certainly alleviate the stress, but they're not out of the woods yet. RJ Shreve is in the on-deck circle, pinch hitting for DiMatteo, and Coach Rob Valley will come out and talk to his left-hander, Bezic.
I think it's a good decision for him to come out here, really talk to Besnick, see what's going on, what's going wrong for Besnick. I don't think he's not gonna pull him yet. I see a little action going in through the RCSJ bullpen, but we'll see how he comes out here. I think he's got to settle down. His fastball is working pretty good. It's just a little inconsistent here. So
yeah, his control has been a point of concern, but the right-hander out of Rancocas Valley, Matt Hewitt, is in the bullpen for RCSJ. No pitcher, or there are a few guys that are hanging around in the Camden bullpen, but nobody's actively up and throwing. So Valley still talking to his guys. The umpire is going to go and break it up. And some final words for Rosado as RCSJ, for the first time in this game, dealing with 2 runners or more on base. They've kept Camden off the scoreboard in terms of runs, but even more so, they've kept them off the base paths. Thompson had a double in the first, then a single in the third by DiMatteo, immediately out by caught stealing, then a base hit in the 7th with 2 outs. Now he's going to bunt. Runner's going to go to third, standing up. He gets around the tag, and he's safe. Swim move. What a play. Getting down to third. Winston Yates.
Seems like Rosado doesn't group out the call.
I mean, he got around it, and the umpires are going to talk it over unless they want to talk about him being out of the baseline.
I think that's the only argue. I did not
I think that's the only. I don't think they're going to argue that he's safe. I think they're going to, or out rather. I think they're going to argue he could be out of the baseline.
He definitely got around the tag if you look back at the replay.
Let's see here. No, they're going to say he's safe. Coach Valley's not going to be happy about it. But again, Coach Valley is not a temperamental arguer in the sense that if he's upset about the call, it's just going to look like he's discussing his weekend plans with the umpire. You know, he's not the kind of guy to throw a Lou Piniella, throw his hands in the air, you know, swipe dirt at the plate. He's not that kind of guy, but he's just going to try to make sure that this situation gets leveled. Yeah, or, you know, Lloyd McClendon. But he's talking with both umpires, two-man crew working today, but they're explaining it, and I wish I saved the replay earlier. It would have been a great look to see. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think that the argument at hand or the dispute at hand is whether or not he was safe or out. The dispute is whether or not Yates was in the baseline, and he is not going to get his way as he'll go back to the dugout, and now Camden is going to use their time to talk to the batters here because they're in a pivotal situation. John Scanzano coming out of the dugout as a game that was going blazingly fast has come to a grinding halt here in the top of the 8th inning.
I mean, we were saying your first game here, Rutgers Camden was 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, about 3:30 went 11 innings. DeSales beat Rutgers Camden 5-4. Again, we'll be seeing the Scarlet Raptors on Tuesday versus Centenary, the Cyclones. And this doesn't help Brevin Bezic either because he's not throwing. He's just walking around. You know, usually when there's a delay like this, you like to get a warm-up pitch or two off. But, like, I would have liked to see Bezic and Rosado throw 1 or 2 pitches down while Valley's talking because
yeah, he doesn't have his momentum anymore.
Yeah, now we're basically starting from 0, and you now have 2 runners on. You have Shaw on first. You have Yates on third. We're going to have an 0-1 count. Pardon, we will not have Jacob Shaw at first base. Running at first will be number 34, Travis Jenkins.
First base number 34, Travis Jenkins.
So Jenkins runs for Shaw. Yates remains at first. Throw back. Slogic wasn't standing on the bag. Unless they were trying to get Yates to draw home.
You got to think Yates is going to go
I think there was just a miscommunication there, honestly.
With no outs, you got to think Yates is going to go here.
And even if you get a double play, if it's in the infield, you can get Yates to score. Breaking ball from Bezic, called a strike. Lower half of the plate.
I mean, that gets 2 guys in scoring position here with this base hit.
No balls, 2 strikes. To Milligan, 0 for 2 in the game. And that one's up and away. So 2 runners on the corners. Jenkins on first, Yates on third, and then they're going to have a left-hander in Schwarz. Or Shreve, rather, batting for Camden. 1-2. I don't exactly agree with pinch hitting a lefty, but DiMatteo was also a lefty. So what does that tell you? I mean, I don't know for sure, but just the way that I see it is that maybe unless they're banking on Milligan getting on and forcing Hewitt into the game, they're going to throw back to first. This time, Slogic and Bevic on the same page. But
if you look at the box scores of Camden County's other games, they've had at least 4 other DHs, so it's not a really rare occurrence to see.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the rarity. I'm talking about the lefty-lefty platoon here. As Milligan fouls it back, he's at least going to work up Bezik's pitch count. But The only way I can see this really working out for Camden is if Milligan gets a board, if he gets an RBI or if he walks, whatever it may have you, Valley comes out, forces Hewitt into the game, and then you have righty versus lefty with a power bat like Shreve. That is maybe what I see Scanzano working at. Another throwback to first, not in time. So I don't know if that's his strategy or if they're just doing best man available, because I have seen coaches do that where instead of thinking situationally when it comes to pinch hitters, they're just depositing the best man available, and then they go further down the roster from there. But we've got a 2-2 count. Rosado in a wide stance. Bevick taking his time, and this one's flied out towards center. Who sees it? Nobody sees it. Now it's Cohen who makes the catch, and they're going to draw the runner to hold at third.
For a second, I thought it was just going to drop.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen there. Mastero ran in, Delaney ran in, Gavin Cohen brought down the ball, though, and we have one away in the eighth for R.J. Shreve.
Entering for the Cougars, number 33, R.J. Shreve.
Rosado looking back to his dugout. Time called. Ball got away from the bullpen, it looks like. Lefty-lefty matchup, and Shreve grounds it foul. Shreve is a class of 2022 grad who went to Potomac State College of West Virginia. Also played in the ACE ABCCL, the Atlantic Baseball Confederation, the Collegiate League. There's a strike called. So a little bit interesting to see him, again, the Haddon Township / Westmont guy in Camden County.
A little bit of an odder batting stance, but...
Yeah, moving that bat in. Look at Rosado. He's way out there. That one's away.
That's one thing as a catcher. Based on the guy's batting stance, you kind of have to position yourself.
That's a different strategy as well on the 0-2. Not going for the waste pitch there, not really trying to get him to draw. He can try to set up away and try to draw some weak contact on the lefty side, get him to roll over. There's a swing and a miss. He got him, 2 down. Big strikeout that time as Shreve, the pinch hitter. Again, I didn't really agree with them going to the lefty with, with how important of a situation this is. But Shreve goes down on strikes, and there are 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. And now Rosado coming out. Ball came in from the bullpen.
I mean, facing any hard-throwing lefty is hard, especially going lefty-lefty, it's even harder.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Unless they were going best man available and they just had Shreve as the next guy on the bench. But if Bentliff gets on, you've got another left-hander coming up in Colin Thompson, the shortstop. It's a tough situation, and one of the reasons why the Roadrunners are so good is because they have somebody for every situation. You've got Brevin Bezic, who's a hard-throwing lefty, finds a way to get into both the inner half of the zone and the outer half of the zone, depending on where you're standing. If you're a right-hander, he's going to draw that fastball in. He's going to get it right around the stomach area. He's going to get it so that you make weak contact. But if you're a lefty, he's going to try to wipe you out with those breaking balls, and he approaches every batter a little bit differently. And then you've got Matt Hewitt warming up in the pen. He's that kind of guy who works in a very diverse selection of pitches and finds his way to really be a hybrid of either a starter or a reliever. You really can cut it either which way, but the Roadrunners have somebody for every situation, and that's why they've won 3 straight national titles. There's a strike called. Rosado walks out in front of the mound, 1-1. We've got Yates on third, Jenkins on first. Roadrunners looking to win the series. They'll be 4 outs away from doing so. They lost game 1 of the series 5-1. Ian Monteith had a 3-run home run in the first inning. That ball gets away. Camden's going to get on the board with a wild pitch. It's 4-1. Yates gets across as that one just skipped away from Rosado, got a bad carom, and Camden, not in the 11th hour, let's say the 9.5 hour. They'll get that one on the board. It's 4-1.
That's really important for Camden, getting that run in, gives them a little life here. 4-1 ball game.
Moves both runners over. Runner from third, Yates scored. Runner on first advances to second. 2 balls, 1 strike. We have, so Hewitt was warming up in the pen, and he actually still is down the line, but that one is a strike called. But they have a second right-hander, Gavin Friel, out of Gloucester Catholic, warming up. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner in scoring position.
Seems like he's a little frustrated about the...
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit rattled in this appearance. Definitely 2 walks and a base hit in his relief appearance. That one's away.
You don't want to pull a Trevor Bauer, throw the ball.
Well, what I'll say is, you know, for RCSJ, again, they had 2 very tough games. They had to use a lot of pitching on Saturday. So to have Tommy Bradley work 6 and Brevin Bezic 2 innings, that's a great start. Outside, ball 4. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Brevin Bezic, and Billy Bentliff gets on. And this is what we were talking about. Another lefty-lefty awaits with Colin Thompson, who roped a double off of Tommy Bradley in the top of the 1st inning. Got Camden a little bit of life, but they were kept off the scoreboard until about 2 minutes ago. So Thompson with 2 on, probably going to try to pull this one down the line if he gets a fastball inside early on the delivery. That time it's a breaking ball, hits the middle of the zone, and it's 0-1. For the Roadrunners in the bottom of the 8th, they'll try to add on some insurance runs. They'll have 4, 5, and 6. Mastero, Izzo, and Delaney. Here from the Camden Athletic Complex in Camden, New Jersey, the 0-1. Missed. A hair inside, 1-1. So Friel and Hewitt warming up in the pen, both right-handers, both with a lot of good velocities on them.
Friel, great pitcher from Gloucester Catholic. He's, like you said, Dan, he's got a lot of velocity on him. One thing that Camden's going to probably struggle with.
Here's the 1-1. That one's in the dirt. I mean, what I'll say is, you know, they don't really have an established 9th inning closer yet, because this is going to be, if the Roadrunners don't score in the bottom of the 8th, this is going to be their first save situation of the year, because they lost the first game of the season to Allegheny College of Maryland, but they won the second game 11-5. They beat Monroe Express in a football score 26-12, but you're also playing at Diamond Nation, which is hitter-friendly at the high school level. If it's hitter-friendly at the high school level, can't imagine what it is at the college level. That one's up. 3-1. Got to imagine if he lets Thompson walk, this is Brevic's last batter, and it's going to be either Friel or Hewitt responsible for the last 4 outs of the ball game.
And if I'm a Camden County coach right now, I'm doing the take sign here. You can't take any chances here. You got to take the pitch.
Let's see if they'll hold. Let's see if they show restraint. They do, and it's ball 4. It's away. 4 walks for Brevin Bezic and a rocky 8th inning in relief. The bases are loaded, and the go-ahead run is Ian Monteith, who homered in the 1st inning of Game 1 of this series and propelled Camden to their first win over the Roadrunners in a handful of years. That was 5-1 on Saturday. Roadrunners won Game 2, got back at them 14-5. And here in the Sunday rubber match.
If you're Camden County, this is who you want up right now. Ian Monteith.
Up and away, 1-0.
Had a great season last year.
And a great product out of Kingsway as well. You said high batting average for him, also a decent power bat. I mean, this is a pitcher-friendly ballpark, but the wind is blowing out towards right field ever so slightly. That's how Joe Mayer got out of the ballpark. It's 2-0. Rosado just kind of telling his guys, whether it's on the infield or whether it's Brevin Bezic himself, hey, settle down here.
If you think he's going to get a walk here, you got to think he's going to come out of the game here.
I'm surprised he didn't come out after that last walk. I'm really surprised. Swing and a miss, though. Got Monteith to swing out of his shoes. It's 2-1.
I think here you definitely got to bring him out if he gets another walk.
Two balls, 1 strike. 2 outs to Monteith. Strike called, 2-2.
Got the strike there. Really low down in the zone, got the call. Huge pitch.
That's where it's been all night. Umpire's been really consistent on that lower half. Stranahan got out of a bases loaded jam. Can Bevick do the same? The 2-2. Line drive. Base hit left field. One runner comes in to score. Here comes Bentliff. 2-run single. Ian Monteith. 4-3. And Camden's within 1. Here in the top of the 8th inning, the Cougars put up a 3-spot here off of Brevin Bezic, who allowed 4 walks. And even though that's only the second hit he's allowed, it's a big one. 2-run single, Ian Monteith. And not surprisingly, it will be Rob Valley calling for the right-hander. It will be either Friel or Hewitt, and it's looking like Matt Hewitt is going to come into the game. He called for the right-hander, and now Hewitt's a little confused. It will be the he started running in. I think everybody's confused about who's coming into the game. Both Matt Hewitt and Gavin Friel started to walk in. Unfortunately, this is not pinball. Can't have 2 pitchers at the same time. We've got 2 outs, though, in the top of the 8th. Rancocas Valley grad Matt Hewitt comes in for Brevin Bezic. We'll take a quick break. 2 outs in the top of the 8th when we return. Matt Hewitt, the new pitcher in the game. 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. It's 4-3. Number 1 team in the nation, the Roadrunners, faltering a little bit here versus the Cougars of Camden County. Hewitt's first pitch foul. 2-run single by Ian Monteith put Camden County back on the board. Well, I say back on the board. They had a 3-spot. And the Roadrunners will most certainly now need insurance in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-1 to Hudson. Swing and a miss. So Brevin Bezic, an inning and 2/3 in relief. The first inning was fine. The second, not so much. No balls, 2 strikes. Hewitt to Hudson. Tying run on second, go ahead on first. It's outside. The offense started with a wild pitch that scored Winston Yates.
It's been an interesting inning here.
Oh, yeah. I love baseball games that aren't blowouts, and unfortunately in JUCO baseball there are a lot of blowouts, so you take the good games while you can get them. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. They'll throw it down to first, but the batter is out. Matt Hewitt only needed 1 batter to get out of the jam. Camden, though, scores 3, and they've kept the Roadrunners on their heels. They'll need some insurance in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back after the break. In the bottom of the 8th, Jack Mastero takes the first pitch. Strike called. David De La Rova is the new pitcher for Camden. Third pitcher of the day in for Manera. Outside, 1-1. 4-3. This was 4-0 going into the top half of the inning, but Camden put up a 3 spot. De La Rova out of Gloucester Christian Academy, as this one is popped up. Right, left side, out of play. Gloucester Christian, another school like King's Christian in Mantua, New Jersey.
Right next to me in Pittman there.
Yeah, it's not far at all. I've passed by it a handful of times, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was there. But had 76 strikeouts and a 3.17 ERA in his senior year. Nice breaking ball, misses away, though. Roadrunners again will have a home and home 2-game set with Bergen on Tuesday and Wednesday. They'll be traveling up to Bergen on Tuesday, home versus the Bulldogs on Wednesday, and we'll be on the air for that at 3:30 first pitch. Low, 3-2.
Right here in the season is where you're going to have to play a lot of games, but you got to come prepared and bring your best, bring your A game.
Bring your 110%, as we've got 3-2 to Gloucester Catholic grad Mastero. Gets on top of it, high chopper to first. He'll wait his time, and he'll tag the bag over at first for out number 1 in the 8th. Again, Roadrunners very much needing some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. But it'll be the left fielder, Nick Izzo. 4-3 ball game. Only 7 combined hits in the game. In the top of the 8th, there were 4 walks and then the 2-run single by Monteith inside.
Well, the first game of the series here was more of a pitcher's duel, but the second game was more of a hitter's friendly thing with a lot of runs.
1-0 from De La Rova is a strike called. One ball, one strike, 1 away after Mastero grounded out. Now Izzo fouls this one down the right field line. De La Rova, Camden's third pitcher of the afternoon. Stranahan went 6. Manera went a full frame. And again, Matt Hewitt replaced Brevin Bezic on the hill as this ball is jammed out towards straightaway right. Going back, and he didn't see it. Goes straight over Monteith's head. Izzo's going to go for third, and it's not going to be an error because the right fielder never touched it. It's a stand-up triple Nick Izzo, and the sun beaming down on Monteith in right. It won't show up as an error in the scorecard, but it will certainly be a judgment error by Ian Monteith. Tough break there.
And you see the first baseman runs out, gives the sunglasses. Having sunglasses is one thing that definitely helps. You know, you just misjudge it there. Yeah,
the sun right now is, from where our camera is, about maybe 80 degrees behind it. That's going to be a run. Izzo scores on the wild pitch, and it's 5-3. Much needed insurance for the Roadrunners that time, as on you blink and you miss it. Izzo hits a triple to right, and then he scores on the very next pitch. So a very quick trip around the bases for the left fielder. And Delaney now has a clean slate here for the West Deptford grad. I mean, West Deptford's had some fantastic years under Coach Oler. Another very hitter-friendly ballpark in the Colonial Conference in Union Field. I mean, I'm an Audubon grad, so I remember Caleb Delaney very well.
I know Clayton's like that. Manera on the mound from Clayton. That's definitely another hitters-friendly ballpark.
2-0. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of high school ballparks are either extremely on one end in hitter-friendly or extremely on the other end in pitcher-friendly.
When you got one guy like Jack Mastero from Gloucester Catholic, which
center field 450 feet away, yeah. Kind of an odd setup there, but it's a 4-pitch walk. Delaney, some good plate discipline for the center fielder today. He picks up his second walk. Carter Comiskey will be the batter. Rosado with one leg guard on, as unless he grounds into a double play, Rosado will bat. That one's low to Comiskey. Comiskey 0 for 3. Ground out, or rather fly out, strike out, and then he had that fielder's choice, which turned into an error. So, pardon, it's 0 for 2 because the error was after the fielder's choice. It was a subsequent error.
Really good plate discipline here by RCSJ. You know, not taking the pitches. It's a good tactic here late in this game.
Well, I think the Roadrunners have gotten used to the zone now. They know that, you know, those strikes are going to be in the lower half, so they have to wait. As that ball gets tipped up, he's going to pick it up, throw to first, not in time. As a really close play, got batted up off of the second baseman. And that will be, let's see, I mean, that was a weird hop, so I don't know what they're going to call here in terms of hit or error.
I think that might be go more to the air side.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be Camden's 4th error of the game if that holds. They're putting a base hit up on the board. Ball got thrown away from the bullpen. So no pitchers warming up in the pen. Friel has gone back to the dugout, which makes me think that Hewitt's going to get the last 3 outs.
I think they just want to see pitchers here for their 7-game stretch.
Like we said, they are going to be hounded for pitching talent next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, a game Friday. That's 3 9-inning games, 2 7-inning games on Saturday, 2 7-inning games on Sunday. So that's only 4 less innings. We've got a fly ball to center field. Oh, good catch at second base to turn that one around. That is not DiMatteo at second. That is number 15, Dean Paulino, who made the play. And there's 2 down. Okay, they did put an error up on the scoreboard in left center for Paulino, so they're going to score that in E4 for Comiskey.
We're only at the JUCO level. We don't got scoreboards that are like,
That's true, yeah. I just have to, you know, check with my book to make sure I'm in line. Because I've said before, at the high school level, I do my own scoring because
can't trust.
Oh, that one's fouled back. A little bit of an excuse me swing there. 0-2. I've mentioned before, we had a game 2 years ago where the home team had 1 hit and the away team had 5 errors. And on NJ.com, all 5 errors magically went away, and the home team somehow had 6 hits. I don't trust a lot of people because, let's be honest, the official scorebook at the high school and at the collegiate level, there's no independent scores. It's whoever runs the home book. And if you don't have a deep understanding of the rules of baseball, you're not going to call the game correctly. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled back. Ooh, that hit off the hand. Oh, no. That did not hit off the glove hand. That was the bare hand that hit the catcher. He's pounding his fist in the ground. Scanzano coming out immediately to talk to him. And, I mean, he is bent over. Really tough situation there for the catcher. The Camden athletic trainers coming out. That's really rough.
Seems like he's in a lot of pain there.
Yeah, he just took off his helmet and his hat.
Not a really good thing to see.
Yeah, that was a foul ball that hit. Looked like the glove trailed a little bit outside, and it might have been a misjudgment, but home plate umpire going over to check on him. Again, we got a 1-2 count here with 2 outs in the 8th.
Especially at this level when pitchers are throwing 80, close to 90 miles per hour, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's really rough as Aiden Milligan, who has had a great performance for Camden. He hasn't let a lot of balls by. He let 1 go in the 8th that scored Izzo, but otherwise he's had a great performance tonight in terms of framing, and he's going to get up, but
wonder if you see Shaw getting ready here, their backup, Camden County.
Well, Shaw won't be available because he already entered the game. He entered as a pinch runner in it was in the top of the 8th that he entered.
He entered as a
because
DH.
he pinch hit for Berger. Yeah. He walked, and then Jenkins replaced him as a pinch runner. So throwing now to his first baseman is De La Rova. And hopefully Milligan will be able to stay in that game. Again, it was right off his bare hand on his throwing hand. The glove just went a little bit outside, and when the ball got tipped, went right to him, and they're going to send everybody back out. So Delaney's on second, Comiskey's on first, and he's wincing in a lot of pain, but he's going to stay in this game. Kudos to him. That's a warrior right there behind the plate, and Scanzano and company must be very glad to have a player that tough in Milligan behind the dish. But we resume play after the injury timeout with a 1-2 count to Gavin Cohen, the 9-batter. 1-2. There's a line drive, and it's right to Paulino, who makes the catch out of the air, puts his chest to the side, puts his glove in front, and the inning is over. So hopefully Milligan's okay, because we'll go to the top of the 9th. He'll only bat if Camden gets a few runners on, and we'll see if John Scanzano makes a change. Right now, though, Matt Hewitt is going to try to complete a 4-out save. 5-3 Roadrunners. Going to the 9th inning.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 9th inning. It's 5-3 in favor of RCSJ-Gloucester. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Weldon on the call here for the home stretch of this 3-game series. Camden won Game 1 5-1. RCSJ won Game 2 by a score of 14-5.
And if Camden County loses this game, they still put up a good fight here. 5-3, like you said, Dan. Three-time national championship, RCSJ.
Absolutely. They have made their mark, and again, year over year, Camden has been getting better and better. They only won 7 games in the 2022 season before they hired Scanzano. Here's a fly ball. Right field, the wind-carrying Mastero is there. For a guy who didn't play a lot of outfield in high school, mostly a first baseman for Gloucester Catholic, but uses that range, camps under the ball, and there's one away. Again, this is the Roadrunners' first save situation of the year. They've won 3 games, but this would be the first time this year that the Roadrunners will have won a game with less than 10 runs scored. They beat Allegheny College 11-6. They beat Monroe University Bronx 26-12, and then they beat Camden on Saturday in Game 2 14-5. So this would be not only the closest win that they've had, but the first in which their offense has scored less than 10 runs, which sounds absurd. But there's a swing and a miss by Yates. So Conway flew out to right. Yates has a walk. Camden County, 3 runs on 3 hits, 4 errors in the field. There's a high chopper. Mayer waits on it. Throw is high, and he's safe. Slogic got pulled off the bag. Even his 6'4" frame couldn't reel it in. That's going to be an error by the Roadrunners as Mayer, he didn't airmail Slogic, but he certainly missed his mark. We talked about, what's ironic is that we talked about defense in the open. We talked about the fact that the Roadrunners had 7 errors in the doubleheader on Saturday, and 6 of them were in Game 2. But it takes until 1 out in the 9th to have our first error by RCSJ. It's now showing bunt. Will be Jenkins with the tying run at the plate.
What do you think here, Dan? You think he's going to steal?
So Travis Jenkins, 1-0. Tried to show the bunt on the first pitch, pulled back though, and it's 2-0. If you're asking about the stealing, I don't think Camden's going to be that aggressive. I think that they know Rosado has a good arm. To be fair, that Yates would have been out at third if he didn't go for a swim move on the bag. So I can definitely say that I don't think that they are going to be that confident on Jaden Rosado, because you don't want to lose the game because of a caught stealing. But yeah, we were talking about defense. We were talking about Roadrunners made a lot of errors in Game 2 in the doubleheader yesterday, and it was a problem. But the funny thing is that Camden was the one who had defensive troubles, more so than the Roadrunners, who have now committed 4 errors in Game 3, the rubber match of this series. 2-1. That one's up and in. Hewitt just kind of signaling he missed the mark on that one. 3 balls, 1 strike. Aiden Milligan's in the on-deck circle. So
a home run would tie it right here, Dan.
Well, Jenkins coming off the bench for Eric Berger came on as a pinch runner in the 7th. That ball's down the right field line. It'll go foul. Jenkins, a freshman. This is his 2nd game played in, but his first at bat. For the freshman out of Millville in Cumberland County. 5-3 Roadrunners. Matt Hewitt looking to shut it down. Double play can end it. Full count. Ground ball out to short. It's going to be cut off. They'll throw to first. It's in time, and there's 2 away. As picking that one up was Alex Apicella. He was going to get in front of Joe Mayer there. He did get in front of Joe Mayer as they were going to try to turn a double play, but Milligan will bat. So that will be a 5-3 ground out. Moves the runner into scoring position now. Tying run is up, though, in Aiden Milligan, who hurt his throwing hand on a foul ball in the bottom of the 8th inning. He was down in a heap, but he was able to get up. Not only did he remain in the game and he finished the inning, he's now batting here in the top of the 9th. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Got him on a changeup that took out the rug from underneath them. Roadrunners, if they win the series, will improve to 4-2. Camden with a loss would fall to 1-5 with their next series versus Ocean coming up. No balls, 2 strikes. Hewitt to Milligan. He got him. Rosado will go down to first. The throw is in time. And the Roadrunners pick up the series. They win this one 5-3. After falling in Game 1, that one was a close one. And Matt Hewitt picks up his first save of the 2026 season in the first save situation of the season for RCSJ, as Matt Hewitt gets the save. Tommy Bradley gets the win. Aiden Stranahan will be charged with the loss. And listen, Aiden Stranahan, great performance by Camden. 6 innings versus the #1 team in the nation. I mean, that was a very admirable performance. Only 2 earned runs, all on solo home runs. Really gave the Roadrunners a lot to work with, and it was a 5-3 final. And it would have been 5-0 if that 8th inning didn't happen, but definitely one of those games where Camden looked good, RCSJ maybe so-so, but both teams come out not looking too bad at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think both teams played pretty well at the beginning of the game. Bradley and Stranahan did a great job both early in the game commanding their pitches. I think it really came down to opportunities. If you look back at this game, RCSJ took way better of their opportunities in scoring position and really got the job done. Camden County, on the other hand, did not do so well. So I think Camden County's really, when they have people in scoring position, I think they're really going to have to take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and listen, I think that the Roadrunners offense was propelled by those two solo home runs, one in the fourth, one in the first. But my player of the game is going to go to Tommy Bradley. 6 scoreless innings for him, and again, Camden would have been shut out if it wasn't for that little meltdown in the 8th. So, he came out there, struck out 7, only gave up 2 hits, no walks. He really was feeling himself tonight, and was just. Again, that was only his 2nd career start. He had 1 in his freshman season, mostly a bullpen guy for RCSJ, but now he becomes the Sunday starter after a very contentious Saturday doubleheader. So, they come into that game and they really find a way to get themselves ahead. They got themselves ahead early. They led 4-0 at one point. Camden was just unable to really hang on in the long term. I think, honestly, if this game was, 7 innings, we'd be like, oh, it was a 2-0 final, 2 solo home runs. But at the end of the day, just finding a way to get ahead, and the Roadrunners are going to have at least a little bit of momentum, even if it's not the momentum that they would have hoped. Listen, this is a 3-time national champion, 3-time repeat national champion. I'm sure that their coaches aren't happy because they didn't win by enough. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. And Tommy Bradley's going to get our player of the game tonight. I don't think that their offense was awfully consistent. I mean, only 8 hits combined. Ball was really kept in the ballpark except for those 2 swings. And Camden, I'll give them credit. They played hard in this series. Game 2 was probably the worst loss out of the 2. And then they won Game 1 of the series 5-1. They held them to 1 run. How many teams in NJCAA Division III can hold RCSJ to 1 run? That number is very few and far between. They had a masterful performance on Saturday, didn't get the Game 2 to fall, and Game 3 looked like one of their best performances all around from the 7th inning onward. Really found a way to, get themselves in the best position that they can. And even though it's a loss, I don't want to use the term, but a quality loss, I think, is what Camden's going to go home with today. They're 1-4. They lost a doubleheader to Ann Arundel, and they won 1 out of 3 games in this series. Even though they're going to go home 1-4, I think that it's still a kind of net positive for Camden. The fact that this is a team that has been building year over year with John Scanzano. They've got a good squad in front of them, and they've got a lot of hefty bats to get on the way. They'll play Ocean County in a home-and-home this week. Ben, your final thoughts before we sign off.
I think it was a great game between both teams. Camden County, they're definitely not as dominant as RCSJ was, but they kept their own. I mean, 5-3, they came back. They had some great at bats. I mean, Ian Monteith got 2 RBIs there at the end of the game. I think they did a great job keeping themselves in a way in the game where they can still compete. And Stranahan did a great job early in the game. He only gave up that leadoff home run, and then he gave up another home run. But really RCSJ didn't really do so much damage to him. And for RCSJ, Bradley did a great job pitching. And I think both teams they both fought really hard, and it was a great ball game. RCSJ, they're going to have a big run, 7-game stretch here in Camden County for them. They'll decrease to 1-4. So.
And the Roadrunners will improve to 4-2. That'll be all for us tonight. We'll be back on the air on Tuesday from this very field for non-conference play in NCAA Division III between Centenary and Rutgers Camden. And then we'll be back in Deptford Township for JUCO baseball in Division III between the Bergen Bulldogs, who have played the most games in Region 19 with 7 this year. They face off against the Roadrunners after the Roadrunners make a trip up to Bergen on Tuesday. Final score tonight, RCSJ 5, Camden 3. They take the rubber match in the series, and they take 2 of 3 from Camden here from Rutgers Camden. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti. My producer and color commentator, Ben Wilden. I'm Dan Wilkins. Enjoy the sunny skies and enjoy the extra hour of daylight. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a good one, folks.